Welcome to the Technosthetic Podcast. I'm your host, Eric, and this is Randy.
Hello.
Today, we're going to talk about some tech topics, dude. We got 12th
They're
gen.
always tech topics, dude.
Well, of course. That is the podcast. 12th gen Alder Lake. We'll talk about that in laptops, because there's been some exciting stuff, dude, to talk about with that. Steam Deck in the wild, and an official launch date has been announced, I guess. And then we'll talk about some Samsung Galaxy Unpacked predictions for next month. So yeah, man, dude, let's just start it off, dude. First off,
yeah,
you're looking like a nerd today, dude. What is it? Something different about you?
I'm a big nerd.
Something,
yeah, I don't know what it is, dude.
Yeah.
Do I have more eyes than two?
Yeah, I don't know, man. You're looking a little goofy, dude. What's
dude.
You're gonna make a pretty good thumbnail for our for our YouTube, dude. So what's
yeah,
is that
so
it?
yeah, use it.
Yeah, okay.
Use it. So essentially, I probably need glasses, I guess is a good way to put it.
Okay, yeah.
These are planos, so they have no prescription in them.
Okay.
But they are blue blockers. So
okay, yeah, interesting. So so by blue blocker, hold on, real quick, dude.
okay.
Is that like, I thought blue blockers was like one of those like gimmicks.
I mean, they do block blue light,
okay.
right? So, like, they do work.
So, when you wear them,
of,
does it look like you're in the Matrix? Like, is it like...
It looks like I'm seeing the world through Warm 2.
Okay, Warm 2.
If that makes sense.
I love that.
Yeah, dude. So, like, that's kind of the experience you get when you wear them.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know the science behind them.
Okay.
But I've been getting, like, a few headaches lately, like, when I'm staring at screens. And I think, again, it's because I actually need glasses. But
yeah,
Kelly's like, you should try a pair of blue blockers. So she brought them over one day. And I was like, oh, well, thank you for buying these. I will try them out. So okay. I'm trying them out to see if they help with headaches.
Dude, I don't know what it is, dude. You look like more civilized. I don't get it.
Kelly thinks I look good with glasses.
I think you look good.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah,
thanks,
dude.
man.
I think you look good. You look smart.
Yeah, dude. Well,
so
you know,
it's what it is.
At least I look smart, right? But you know,
it's deceiving, but.
I'm probably going to break down and get an eye exam because I think I do need glasses. Like I was telling. I was saying the other day, like there's like a range of visibility that like I can see perfectly, and then like there's a range of visibility where I can still see, but I have to squint, right? Like nothing's really blurry, right?
Is it like nearsighted, farsighted thing? Like what is it?
It's mostly far, like stuff farther away.
Okay.
Like I can use my CX48 at like 100% from about more than an arm's length away. And nothing's blurry.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like if I turned my head.
What about like couch viewing distance, like looking at a TV?
Like that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine for like watching shows and stuff. Like that's not blurry. But like if there was like small text on the screen, right? Like a good example is like if I'm watching like couch viewing distance and like you know how like at the start of a Gamers Nexus video they put like the table of contents in the bottom left,
right?
I would have to squint to read that.
Dang, dude. You need to upgrade your eyes to 4K. You need you need those glasses.
Yeah. So, do you wear contacts or anything?
No, I got pretty good eyes, man. I'm pretty fortunate where I don't need nothing.
So like I said, like if I did get glasses, I'd probably say that you really only have to wear them to read stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
But because like I said, like, you know, like sitting here looking at my CX48, like every piece of text, even like the small TeamSpeak text, where it shows like the server info, like that's crystal clear to me from this distance, but it's like farther away, smaller text that I struggle with sometimes.
Got it. Yeah, I think it's funny because like, you know, I always talked about how I'm using this TV. I have zero display scaling or anything, so
yeah, in the same way. The same way.
But like even when I was on the 4K 27-inch, I didn't. And like Amanda was like, everything is so small, and I'm like, well, yeah.
Yeah, it's good that way.
I got used to it.
Yeah.
Well, it's more screen real estate, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah, man, I just thought it was interesting. You know, I have a coworker who, you know, in the IT industry, and he, you know, those gamer glasses you can buy. That's
Gunners.
Like, yeah.
I
like
actually used to have a pair of Gunners back in the day. Yeah, these are actually yellow. I'm not sure if you can see them. On
I can
camera
see it tint, but it's not like heavy. Like, you know, like those Gunners you were saying.
I bet like if I do like a yeah,
I can see it.
But yeah, like it's weird. Like putting headphones on is a little weird. Like I kind of have to like put them on and then
fiddle with it.
Yeah.
Well,
like now it's fine, right? So
but yeah, that, like he actually wears like the MLG Pro Gamer ones. Like in the office, he would like and I'm like, yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. Like it's almost like a blue light sort of filter, right? Like it's the same kind of yellow situation.
Right. These actually came with like a little blue light LED to like test, right? So like it came with like a little paper, and then you would shine the blue light through it. And I'm like, this is a gimmick. Like, give me a flashlight. I bet it does the same thing. Right. And it didn't. And then I tried it without the glasses, and then put like a burn mark on the paper.
Oh wow.
So like they definitely block blue LEDs. I can't sit here and tell you if it actually gives you any sort of benefit or not. Yeah. But I kind of like warm too anyway. So
Well, yeah. I kind of like to in the evening, like how Apple has True Tone and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and I kind of dig that. Like
I do too.
Like if I'm not doing color sensitive work and I just kind of want to vibe, like I kind of don't mind like the True Tone being on or like night shift.
I'm the same way. Yeah, I keep night shift on my phone and my Mac. I think it's a nice feature.
I like it. It's just kind of like in the evenings, like they say blue light kind of causes sleep problems and stuff, and like. So it's kind of nice in the evenings to just be like, how like in my house, like most of my bulbs are all like warmer, because typically if I'm, it's at night when you use them. So you kind of like, I don't know. I like the warmer tones typically.
Same
for indoor lighting. But like some people will be like, nah, dude, we're going to use like the cool whites. And I'm like, dude, this looks like a clinic, dude, like in a bad way. Though.
I mean, that's what kind of sold me on the meme light, dude, was when I saw temperature control, because I'm like, I don't want this LED on my desk.
No, it's nice. Like the meme light, for those that aren't in the know, dude, that BenQ sells is like light that you can put at the top of your monitor. And it's actually really nice. I have a pretty dark desk because like, all the lights in this room.
Dark desk or dank desk?
Well, now that I have the dank light, dude, I have both. Yeah. Well, a bright desk now, but I'll pull it up so people can see it. But it's a desk light. Hold on, what is it?
Mine's 7 stops away, dude.
Dang, it's on the way, dude. We can get your first impressions on the podcast, dude. What's it called? The BenQ what?
Screen Bar Plus.
Okay, yeah, because I'm trying to find it, like, and I'm not getting it. What? Why aren't I getting it on Amazon? Hold on.
I just bought it on Amazon.
I'm dumb. That's why.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to show the podcast. You can't see what I'm seeing. But, yeah, this is it on Amazon. BenQ Screen Bar Plus, E-reading LED, blah, blah, computer monitor light lamp. This is what it looks like. It goes to the top of your monitor. Plugs into it with the USB, and I like it because it comes with this dial. You can adjust it, and you can adjust the color temperature as well as like the brightness. And it's interesting. I know Randy had a lot of concerns and questions about like, is it going to glare on your screen? The answer is no. Is it going to impact your screen at all? The answer is no. Like it is well directed, and you can adjust it. It lets you kind of spin it more forward and back where you want the light to kind of project. But I notice no impact on the screen, even if it's
and no notch, off. Right? No notch.
No notch. It, I could take a little picture of what it looks like, because it does overlay onto the top of the screen, but like it stops before it gets to the pixels, like halfway on the bezel, basically. So, because there is a bezel on this, screen that's basically bezel-less. There is a bezel, and it's only like halfway on the bezel. So. No worries there. So it's a real nice like product. I kind of like. It's expensive. Don't get me wrong. Like,
what else kind of really sold me on this?
Light, but it's aesthetic, dude.
I watched a lot of like third-party reviewers on YouTube.
Yeah.
And given the price of the light, for those who are listening and not viewing, it's $139.
Yeah.
Which is expensive for a desk light, right?
Absolutely.
But every single person said that the price was worth it. Like there was not one person who's like, it's expensive, I'd buy a knockoff. Like no one said that. You know what I mean?
Nobody said that. Everybody was like, if you're, this is nice for color grade type of stuff because it doesn't really impact the screen or anything. It's kind of just illuminating your room, and then you can adjust the color temperature so you can make it match your environment. So it's just a professional looking light, and I needed something on my desk. If I had more room, I might do like a lamp or something, just to make it look aesthetic. But this looks pretty clean too, and it's kind of out of the way. And it's
For those of you
automatic.
who have seen my desk, I'm still going to keep my two like aesthetic lamps at the end of the desk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because my desk is 87 inches long. So it's
Yeah.
a big desk. But my core area right here in front of me, that doesn't get illuminated by those lamps.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, it's true. It's perfect for like just lighting up your area, like your workspace, I guess. Like it really lights up the mouse pad, like the keyboard mouse like situation. You can work with this light. You can turn it up and down. It has like an auto brightness adjust that it does, where you hit it and then it'll like automatically adjust to ambient light. So it's super nice. I love how configurable it is.
Sure.
So
sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so you'll get that, and then we'll get your review on it. But
I do want to. I actually did want to add one other thing on the desk light, because we're kind of talking about, kind of ties into like the glasses situation.
Yeah.
Apparently, lighting up your periphery with something like a screen light also could help eye strain. So,
yeah, that's what they say. You don't want to like just have your screen be your only light source. So I'd like to have lights on in the room, even when I'm like, unless I'm movie watching and I want to have like an OLED movie watching experience, like I'll have the lights on most of the time, if not dim. I love having dimmable lights, and for the most part. So yeah, it's always nice to kind of be able to adjust
I vibe
that.
with that. Yeah.
I'm all about lighting, dude. Like lighting is such a key thing for aesthetic, like in a room. It's key, dude. But yeah, so and you have like a drop ceiling, right? With like
I do have a drop ceiling, but I have shitty lights in there because they are PWM, and you can probably see it flicker if you watch.
Yeah,
really
and they
closely.
say PWM lights like actually cause strain too, right?
They do, because they flicker. Like even if you don't realize it, it's still flickering. So, and like I don't know if it's one of those things that like your brain cancels it out, because it's like. Many of you may already know this. I don't know, but like your brain blocks out being able to see your nose. Like your eyes can actually see your nose.
Oh
right?
yeah.
And like if you focus on your nose, you can see it. But like when you're just doing normal day-to-day looking around, your brain focuses out your nose.
That's nutty, isn't it?
So I don't know if like your brain is just focusing out the like pulsing, or if you physically can't see it, or if it affects you on like a different level. I'm not that smart on that topic,
right?
But there is science behind that PWM lights could also affect that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's hopefully you can get your headaches out of the way, or your strain, because that sucks, man. Get your eye examined.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah, because that's a pain, dude. Like we're in our jobs, dude. We're around screens all day, and then it doesn't help that what we like to do is revolved around screens half the time. So yeah, you kind of want to get that figured out. But yeah, man, let's roll into our first topic, man. We got 12th Gen Alder Lake, and you know, I kind of slept on this. I wasn't really interested as far as laptops go, because like I just bought a Mac, so I was already kind of hyped on Apple Silicon. But I mean, I gotta say, like, you threw me some graphs from Dave 2D on YouTube, and like I was like, okay, well, I mean, that's pretty
Dan,
good,
right?
dude. Like, the specs are pretty good. So tell me about 12th Gen Alder Lake and what it means for the laptop space, because we already know what it's doing on the desktop side.
Yeah. So essentially on the laptop space, right? Like it seems to be giving us this really interesting power curve where I'm going to back up a little bit first and kind of explain just how basically 12th gen architecture is.
Right.
So on the desktop side, if you guys are kind of more familiar with like the overclocking side of processors, which by the way, Intel 12th gen has made overclocking great again. So like if you're into tinkering and stuff, it's a whole new world out there. So
in what way? Like if you could 2-second give me like how's it making it great
so essentially like when like we had like the great Zen 3 like kind of like peak, like PBO is pretty much it, right? Like you're not going to get a lot of performance out of overclocking. Well, Intel changes that again, thank God, because I like overclocking. I like getting more power of my hardware. It's fun to tweak things and to tinker and to constantly, see improvements. That being said, Intel, well, on the desktop side, I don't think this really applies to their mobile thing, but I just kind of want to get it out of the way. Is like those of you who are familiar with like Intel overclocking and like Intel Turbo Boost 2.0 and 3.0 and stuff. there's different levels of TDP. So like there's a base TDP that the processor operates at base clocks, and then it's allowed to exceed that under turbo boost. Well, with 12th gen, they made PL1, which is power limit, PL1 equal PL2. So that means that the 12th gen desktop processors can just turbo boost indefinitely.
Wow.
Because there's no longer like timed cycles to hit certain target limits. So Intel was just like, all those limits gone.
Nice.
Which is kind of cool for like the desktop enthusiast, right? That PL1 equals PL2. So it basically just has a turbo boost TDP, and that's it. There's no like it's technically in there under PL1, but it equals PL2, so it's the same value.
You're right. Okay.
So like it's really exciting stuff.
Okay. Wow. I mean, that's really good. So, and I mean, you've overclocked your system on the desktop side, and you've had good results, right?
I've had extremely good results. Asus kind of does this thing now where like when you overclock, they'll tell you like what percentage of an overclock you have, and I'm running like a Lian Li Galahad 360 AIO, so I'm not on custom water anymore.
Okay,
and I have a 71% overclock.
I mean, that's kind of busted.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, and like that's averaging out across the P cores and the E cores.
What's your P cores at right now?
Let me pull back to you and I can tell you exactly what they are.
Sure.
My P cores are at also per core overclocking is the way to go now because of things like Thread Director.
Dude, that makes it so good. Thread Director is a game changer, I think.
It really is. So like so there's obviously 8 P cores on here, right? So I have 3 cores at 55.
Okay.
And 5 cores at 54.
Okay.
That's a multiplier. So 3 cores at 5.5 and then 5 cores at 5400 megahertz.
Right.
And then I have my efficiency core ratios, which is my E cores at 4100 megahertz.
So let me ask you a little bit about Thread Director, because obviously I think Thread Director and like the big little style of 12th gen is really kind of a game changer, even on the desktop. So like Thread Director kind of makes it all possible where it can, tell applications which cores it can use and stuff. Like it's directing the workloads to the optimal cores. So you said you have different P cores at different clocks?
I do.
That's weird. So like, how does the system handle that? Can it determine like, okay, we're going to give the most demanding tasks to the highest clocked P core?
It does.
No way.
So it does. So like I think it's theoretically like my core 2, 5, and 6 are my best silicon cores. So those are the ones at 5.5.
Okay.
Right. So if I run like single thread Cinebench, that's the core that'll get used.
No way.
Not core 0 like it was on Windows 10.
Typically, yeah.
Yeah. So like if I'm playing a game that's like single core or dual core, it'll load up those 5.5 cores first.
Wow, it's so game changing. Like
yeah,
Windows has been garbage when it comes to being able to efficiently use the CPUs in the past, and like this is seriously because like I didn't see a reason to per core overclock before if Windows isn't going to use my best core for the single core application. So like, what was the point? But now it's like it's like the only time per core overclock mattered before is if you hard disabled other cores
or use process lasso. You can use process lasso.
So what was that, dude? Like
process lasso was something that like you manually had to assign.
Oh,
but, like,
so you could
take
people,
like Warzone to only use this core. And
that was a very manual example.
Okay. It was a very manual thing, and then like it messed up some other applications. It was at a software level. Process lasso is something that was kind of like a last ditch effort.
Okay, interesting. Okay, well, something exists to make it work, but it wasn't optimal. But like now it's automatic, and it should have been like this forever, dude. Like, why are we just now getting this? But I love that we got it. So is Mac OS or maybe Linux? I mean, obviously they handle things a little bit different than Windows.
Sure.
Do you think like they had better thread management, core management than Windows 10? And do you think like, because I feel like just off of the way Mac OS functions that it's a little bit better, but I could be just smoke and mirrors.
Sure. So under Intel Mac, I'm going to say no pretty confidently.
Okay.
But on M1 Silicon, it 100% does.
Well, it would make sense. So we're now on the big little, right? So like it would make sense that Apple Silicon would be able to use the big little in an efficient manner, right?
Okay.
So it would have to have a thread director like technology to be able to direct the I guess whatever applications to whatever cores you have in a meaningful way, right? Like it would have to, and they've been doing it on mobile for so long. So I'd imagine that they now under Apple Silicon, they're doing an excellent job at it.
And it shows.
Yeah,
it shows. It really does. So
I mean, this is great, dude, because they're gonna bring that amazing performance that they have on the desktop. They're bringing it to laptops, right?
What else Thread Director? What else Thread Director does that's really smart is it will load up like loads intelligently, right?
Yeah.
So it will load up one thread per P core because they're hyper-threaded cores, right?
Right.
But it'll load and like if you're familiar with how hyper-threading works, like you technically have two processes, but it's sending the instruction sets to one core.
Correct.
So there is a small performance hit, but it's a net gain overall, right? So what Thread Director will do is it will load up one thread per P core and load up all the E cores before moving on to the hyper-threaded P cores.
Okay,
that's really smart. Yeah.
I mean, that's super good. So, and they're bringing. So I'm just excited because like the efficiency side is going to have some serious gains in the laptop space. So now we have 12th gen. Yeah. What is it? An MSI laptop everyone's getting their hands on right now?
Yeah, the MSI G76. It has a 12900 HK.
Yeah.
And a 3080 Ti mobile.
Okay. Yeah. That's pretty nutty.
Yeah.
So, so I mean, this is a beast of a machine. So, from what everyone's saying, as far as like benchmarks are going, they're going wild. Like the performance seems like it's. I think Linus from Linus Tech Tips said like 15% faster across the board, but I don't think that tells the whole story because
it's a little bit faster than that actually. I mean, this mobile processor completely walks all over a desktop 11900K and walks all over a desktop.
Yeah, 15% doesn't seem significant, but there's more to the story. So like, what are we talking about? Like. They said like the cores and thread count kind of nutty, and the multi-core is kind of nutty on these chips, which is significant because AMD normally had the crown when it comes to multi-core performance, and now Intel is coming out swinging. So I think that's pretty fascinating. Right. But not only that, but their single core remains top tier. And what was it? Dave 2D said like. These chips are probably outperforming whatever you have on the desktop right now. And that's kind of crazy because this is a laptop chip.
Yeah, the only thing that's not outperforming in multi-threaded is 5950X and a 12900K desktop. And I think a 12700K desktop too.
So it makes sense, right? The 5950X being 16 core, 32 thread. It just has way more cores. That's that's all it is.
What is that? Sorry.
The 5950X, right? So it's got the 16 cores, 32 threads. So it just has the raw horsepower available to it. Even if it, can't run as well per core as like, Intel's best, it's still just outperforming it just because it has just the raw numbers. But like, I'm going to put up that graph I just linked to you because you linked it to me a while back. So it's it's from Intel, I think here. So for the viewers out there, this is like a graph. We're tired of these graphs a little bit because they're a little misleading, but and it's kind of funny because this is a very Apple graph. Tell me this doesn't look like exactly what
it looks like an Apple graph.
This looks exactly what Apple put out
to a T, dude.
To a T. So this is pretty funny. You see the M1 Max chip, which is the same chip in my M1 Max equipped MacBook Pro. Apple Silicon, their best in class chip, and then you can see Intel Core i9 12900 HK. Rocketing above it. And this is pretty interesting because according to this, they're going to outperform the M1 Max significantly per watt, which is fascinating. So what do you think about, what do you interpolate from this graph here? What's your impression here?
I could tell you that, I mean, if I'm reading this graph correctly, at 35 watts,
right,
it's beating the M1 Max.
Yeah.
But I don't think that 35 watts is full package draw on the M1 Max, is it? Is that like having the GPU and the CPU loaded up?
So I wanted to bring this up because if you look at a lot of the benchmarks people are running. This is the MSI. What do we just G76 or MSI G76 isn't equipped with the 3080 Ti, and the thing about Apple M1 the SoC is it has the the GPU component embedded into the SoC, right? So yeah, I don't understand what they're measuring because like it's the M1 Max SoC. It's a combined GPU and CPU package, right? It's everything all in one, right? That's the whole thing about SoC. Whereas the Intel i9 is purely, just CPU grunt. So,
Sure.
And like, so some of these benchmarks you see are like including the 3090 or 3080 Ti's Max Q edition, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure. So it's including the fact that you have a 3080 Ti. But okay, so that's cool. The performance is busted. But if you think about like per watt, the M1 Max can outperform the G76 in performance per watt if you include the graphics metrics, because
right, that's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like if you're running a GPU and CPU task on a G76 MSI machine with Intel's best, and then you have NVIDIA's best GPU, I don't know what the power draw is on that, but it's going to be nutty, right? Whereas the M1 Max can do its graphics demanding tasks at a significantly lower draw. I'm pretty damn sure. Do you have any kind of numbers on
the integrated graphics?
Actually, that'd be an interesting thing to know.
I don't. Sadly, I haven't looked them up just because I'm not really in the market for it.
Yeah, I know.
But,
same here.
It does run the new XE architecture right now.
Okay.
And like, I theoretically have it in my desktop because it's a non-F SKU.
Right.
So
I'm confused here, dude. So on this graph, sorry to interrupt. So check this out, dude. So you have at the bottom, they say 100% equals Core i9. What is that? Core i9 11980 HK at 45 watts. So what are we looking at here?
So 100% on this scale for relative performance is their old top of the line processor.
Okay, so they're basically saying like we are well above our old best.
So the 11980 HK was basically on par with the M1 Max in terms of CPU performance.
So you can see it on the graph there, and like the performance you get per watt, like it is like almost flat. This line is almost flat. Like you can pump power into it and you're not getting much out of it.
Right.
And then the 5900HX, is that like the best from AMD on the CPU side?
Yes.
As far as like
currently they announced that I believe the 6000 series SoC APUs, whatever you want to call them, just recently at CES, but they're not out yet. So like we don't really have any numbers on them besides the marketing stuff.
Right.
They pushed out.
It's weird because it's like the 11980 HK is like a flat line almost, whereas like you can see a lot more curve in like the 12900 HK.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you saying? Like that you can get like more performance increases per watt, I guess. Like
I think that what's really interesting about the Alder Lake architecture specifically is that. And like if you guys ever get like down the rabbit hole of overclocking this stuff, so the P cores are called Golden Cove, right? Like, so if you're familiar with like the Intel's kind of like naming structure, there's been like like different coves, Sandy Bridge, Sandy Lake, Ice Lake, all that nonsense. So the P cores are called Golden Cove, and the E cores are called Gracemont. So they're actually two separate kind of like core architectures that operate differently. And because the efficiency cores are designed to be low wattage, low power, if you achieve any sort of like package voltage increase, that's basically free for the E cores, because the E cores are getting extremely way more voltage than they need, and this is true when overclocking on the desktop. So there's no longer like V core on Alder Lake. I mean, there is, but it's obviously there's still V core, but it's labeled like I think it's like VCCIT, which is basically the entire package, because it's giving package to the IMC, the P cores, and the E cores.
Right.
And let's say you put your P cores at like 1.35 volts because they're more power hungry, they're more powerful. The E cores also get that same voltage. Right. So like you almost get like free to the moon overclocking on the E cores.
Okay.
So like I think that helps out a lot, to be honest with you, because like a lot of what computers do is like multi, like out of order processing, right? Like these aren't single order processing ASICs; they're out of order processing. So like if you can offshoot some of those to like E cores and then get even more performance out of those, I think you're going to see like a pretty sizable jump in performance.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what like most of your computer tasks are going to get thrown at, is these E cores, and like you're going to see your P cores chew on whatever like big thing you're doing, like your main thing, right? And then everything else is going to be E-core action. So yeah, I mean, definitely having E-cores is going to be good, and being able to boost those is going to be good. And what do you think the significance of DDR5 is with these laptops? Because it seems like DDR5 is actually very significant. Like it's giving performance gains that are actually tangible, and it's worth the upgrade to get. Like, what do you think about DDR5?
DDR5 is in its infancy right now. I think it's worth getting, specifically because you want the motherboard that supports DDR5. But like, this is going back. I'm showing my age. But like when DDR4 first came out, like that, right? Like there almost wasn't that much of a performance improvement over DDR3. Right. And that's because like it's still in its infancy, right? So like my RAM is running at like 5200 megahertz, which is nutty, right? But it's also 40 CAS latency. So it kind of balances itself out, right? Okay. So it's probably on par with a really good DDR4 kit currently. But eventually we're going to see DDR5 6000, and that CAS latency over time is just going to come down. Okay. Come down and come down and come down.
So we have yet to see the best of DDR5 is what you're getting at.
Right. So like these numbers you see right here on like the 12900K and the 12900HK, DDR5 isn't really, pumping those numbers. So if you're thinking, oh, Intel is just, sucking off DDR5, and when Ryzen gets DDR5, you're going to see similar gains over there. That's not the case. Okay. RAM performance is roughly normalized right now, just because DDR5 is still in its infancy, and we only have like, I think, 2 companies making microcontrollers for DDR5 right now.
So one of the things that obviously we've been big fans of Apple Silicon, the M1 chip and then the M1 Pro and Max. And I was obviously, I basically said to myself, like, these chips can't be beat. These chips are unreal. Well, and I'm finding that at least in performance they can, right?
Yeah, performance they get crushed.
They get crushed. But I think that what we're looking at here is at the cost of battery life.
I was just going to say that. So like, I think with Intel, you're really getting into that territory of, I could buy a laptop and be a true to life desktop replacement. Yeah. Which is, awesome. Whereas with like your M1 Max and your M1 Pros, they offer insane performance and have insane battery life.
Yeah. I'm starting to wonder if I'll need a desktop at some point. Like, I might just have a Windows laptop and my MacBook.
It's scary to me already, dude. It's scary to me already because my overclock is like pretty high, right?
Yeah, of course.
And I get like 29,000 on Cinebench R23. Yeah. I think that Day 2D one got like 18,000, like 18,392. Wow. On the 12900HK. Yeah. So that's like only 33% slower than a full fat desktop chip. Yeah. And it's their first attempt at this.
I know. Like, I mean, that's pretty impressive. And like, if you think about like how much we spend for our desktop setups as a whole, right? You know what I mean? Right. And then you think about like, okay, well, I could just get a laptop, dude, like, and have like everything, keyboard, mouse, obviously, trackpad, whatever, and monitor. Like, I could just plug it into a monitor. You know what I mean? Like, like I could buy a laptop, plug it into a desktop setup, like one cable setup, and then like, I think the only drawback is like you're gonna have fans that are kind of audibly loud, right? Like running at that sort of.
Yeah, the GS76 is pretty loud. Yeah, it's loud. I think he clocks in at like 58 or 62 decibels. Which is
and it's not necessarily a thin boy ultrabook either. you know, and it's not bad. Like the G76 looks pretty good, but it's still like not as it's not as small as like, you know, I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Hold on, I'm looking at it right now and it doesn't look bad from the marketing, but you know, it could be the angles they're showing it at. But I mean
the GS76,
yeah,
it has like that diffused light bar in front, which is kind of subtle and nice.
Yeah, so I'll show I'll show the podcast the website I have for their what is this? Is this it? The GE76 here?
Yeah, the GE76.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, this is a pretty sleek looking laptop and it's got this light bar. Here's the light bar you can see if you're a viewer. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's RGB, so you can change the look of it. I
would just put it on like a warm ambient color. You know,
yeah, that's what I probably would too. Because I'm into that warm aesthetic too. Like if you go to like you've probably been on the Battle Station subreddit, and like I love the warmer setups. You know, like they got plants,
like a lot of plants, dude. Yeah,
they got like wood. Yeah. They got.
I'm down with. I'm not down with gamer aesthetic, dude.
Not anymore. Like I've kind of grown out of gamer aesthetic. Like I respect the gamer aesthetic hustle, but like I've kind of grown out of it, and I'm in that like cozy aesthetic now.
Cozy.
Yeah, I like that cozy, like plants, like wood. Like give me a warm light. The orange, you know what I mean? Like I like that stuff now, dude. I don't know.
Same.
It's just like cozy. I don't know. I dig it,
dude. I'm a fan of cozy.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, man. I mean, this I think this is interesting because obviously you have insane performance. You know, I was in a conversation with a buddy of mine. You know Ben. We've been hunting with him on Monster Hunter, Fubsy, right? So he's a student and he's in the market for a new laptop. And how
old is he?
What is it?
Is he our age? Or is he younger?
He's our age. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's our age. He's in the market for a new laptop. He said he doesn't want a gaming laptop. He just wants like a great laptop for school. And I tried to sell him on a MacBook Air. You were there for that, right?
Yeah, I would recommend that too.
Yeah, and I was like, my guy, dude, MacBook Air, dude. It's like done. But you know what he decided with? He went and looked at, I think it was a computer store or something like that, and he fell in love with the XPS 13, the Dell XPS 13, and. Like, well, okay, interesting. So what do you say, oof? Because it seems like a good machine, dude. Like I have one at work, and it's pretty nice. You just got one, right?
Yeah, and
for work,
and it's already had a mainboard replacement and a top case replacement.
No, already?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Why? What happened?
We opened it one day, and the screen never came back on.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
Dang, so you had to RMA it. Okay.
No, actually, we had the warranty, so a Dell tech came out and replaced the main board.
What? On site?
On site. And then I don't know if he applied the thermal paste at all, because then right after that, like as soon as he left for like the next week, we've been getting thermal over temp warnings on it.
Oh my God, dude.
So I'm kind of bitter on Dell XPS machines. Like they're dead to me now.
You know, I thought about this a lot this morning because I was like, damn it, dude. Like, I wish I was like, normally I'm a salesman, dude. Like, normally I can sell people on tech.
Yeah.
You ever do that? You ever have buddies?
All the time.
Yeah, exactly.
We sell each other all the time, dude.
Well, yeah, we do it to each other. But like, I have other friends. Like, when I was in the Navy, I remember I bought a laptop. It was like a, what the hell? It was a Gateway. It was a Gateway laptop when I was in the Navy. So it was like probably 2008, 2009. And like, I bought like a Gateway laptop from Best Buy, and it was like the best value laptop at the time. It was like hands down.
Sure.
And like it was, I remember I sold that to at least 4 people on the ship. Like I had 4 other people in the Navy that I got to buy the same laptop as me because I sold it on them. And like, so I consider myself kind of a salesman, dude. Like I'm able to sell people on tech, and like I couldn't for the life of me sell them on the MacBook, you know? And I was like, dang, dude, my pride. But that's because it's so hard to sell Apple stuff to people that aren't Apple fans, like, or haven't used their products, or like they're afraid of the learning curve. And it's like, I feel like, dang it, dude, like you are missing out on a banger machine. And, but like here's the thing, the Dell XPS 13, given it doesn't have a issue, like yours did, it's a pretty sexy package, at least from the outside looking in, right? Like the display is better than the MacBook Airs. Like it's touchscreen. It's like It depends if you get the OLED one or not. What one do you have?
I have the OLED one.
Yeah, I have the OLED one too. So I don't know what the non-OLED screen looks like. So, but I'd say the OLED one looks really nice. Like
the screen,
super good.
The screen is super inky, dude. Like the screen is really nice. Like, I don't want to say it's nicer than my work 16 M1 Max. I think that one's nicer still.
I think the M1 Max screen is better because you're looking at mini LED and it's like DCI-P3, 100% coverage. It's like color gamut. So it's like really good. Like the screen technology is actually really good. I think the only area it kind of falters is like that pixel response time like we talked about. But like other than that, the actual presentation of the Mac, the M1 Max, but like talking about just like the base MacBook Air display versus like the 13-inch, like this, if you're like the initial first impression is going to be out of this world with the Dell, because you're going to see that inky screen. You're going to see like there's no bezels and shit. But that's the thing about Windows laptops is like they hit you with that first impression, but like after that honeymoon period is over, you start to realize like the flaws in the execution. And I feel like that's something you wouldn't really experience on the Air. The Air kind of like was good all year long, right? The M1 chip never stopped being good, and it's not going to stop being good for like many years, in my opinion.
Right. I don't disagree with you.
So
I think the longevity is definitely there.
Yeah. I think so. I think it's one of the few machines that's going to like stick with people for a long time. You know what I mean? Like think about the M1. I feel like any M1 equipped machine, because of the quality of components, because you have top tier SSD, top tier screen, well, relatively, right? Like it's not like good, but it's like a good screen. It doesn't look bad.
I think you also get that like Apple reliability. And like that's something that like sounds fanboyish, but like
it does, especially if you're Lewis Rossman, who's like Rossman Repair Group. He's like, nah, dude, Mac's reliable, but like, come on, dude. He sees like every bad Mac they've ever made.
I was gonna say though, like MacBooks have a large market share.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So like, obviously you're and like I don't know, like obviously you're gonna get them in. So,
dude, you know what's funny? You actually bring up a good point. I told my buddy Ben, I was like, if you're gonna buy a laptop, I don't care if it's a MacBook or a Dell or whatever. What you don't buy is the laptop that like only a handful of people are gonna buy.
Right.
You buy the Dell because 1 million people are gonna buy that Dell, and Dell's gonna support the shit out of it. Don't buy the Razer Blade that a handful of people are gonna buy, and then like they drop support and like the drivers suck. Even the Surfaces get that shitty treatment. Like I've told him, I was like, dude, the Surface Book 2 was Microsoft's flagship at one point. I had it.
They shit on that, dude.
They shit on it. Microsoft's own updates fucking broke it. You know what I mean? I was like, what kind of shit is that?
Yeah.
So, at least you can rely on Dell to at least support their shit. Like I think that if anybody's going to support any laptop, I think the Dell XPS line is going to get that. Because it's just so popular.
I think so too. I think that in a vacuum, if the MacBook didn't exist, I would have a Dell.
Yeah, because we talked about it. We talked about it because I was looking at, what was it, the Framework laptop? And you were
gross.
like, yeah, gross. Get the fuck out. It's cool.
It is gross.
It's cool.
Dude, it's a cool concept, but it's gross for the same reason I told you why it's gross before.
Well, you pointed to the Dell XPS, and you're like, tell me which one you'd rather get. And I was like, well, of course the Dell. Because the Dell is just better value, right? Like it's got better components per dollar than the Framework. The Framework's gimmick isn't enough for me to spend more on it for what I get, which is just modular USB-C stuff. You know what I mean? Like I have a USB-C dongle, dude. I don't need like the modular ports. Like I got a dongle with all ports I want on it. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, like I don't know. What do you think about the choice been made with the XPS 13? Because I feel like a MacBook Air would have been enough, and it's probably cheaper, right?
It's definitely cheaper.
World cheaper.
I mean, I would prefer the Air, right? But it also depends, because I'm not sure what he's in school for, right? Like if he's going for 3D design, then obviously the MacBook's out of the question.
No, he's doing like a computer science thing.
Oh, then I would get a MacBook.
Yeah, so like one of the, you know what man. If Ben listens to this, I'll feel bad, or if any of the friends tell him. But I was like,
no way. I mean,
here's my criticism
it's something we
of his
didn't tell
choice.
him in person.
Here's my
right?
criticism of his choice,
Sure.
because like I think objectively, the XPS 13 is like a good. It's probably the best Windows-based choice he could have made, for what he was doing.
Right.
But
if he wanted Windows, I think he made a good choice.
I think he made a good choice, but I think that the Mac would have been the better choice for a couple reasons. One of them is you're trying to break into like the IT industry, right? So you're telling me that you don't have the patience to learn a new OS when you're about to have you're about to be learning like Windows Server 2016 and higher, like what are we on, like 2019 or some shit? Windows Server
2019.
Yeah, we have 2016 at work right now, so that's why I said that. And I'm like, you don't have the patience to learn like how you can't Control C, Control V. You had to hit Command C, Command V. You don't have the patience to learn new shit, and you're about to be
plus macOS is based off of BSD, and like BSD, like once you get used to like terminal commands, like that's so helpful. You know?
100%. Like you're gonna. It's like you're about to break into an IT industry, but you can't like adapt to a new OS. It's like adaptability is like going to be your key selling point when you become an IT. You know what I mean? So like you might as well start now, dude. You might, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the way I see it. But yeah, I think that, you know, he was concerned about running certain things that the school might want to run. I'm like, dude, it can run Office. So, and if you really cared, you could run Parallels or something. But anyway, if he doesn't have the patience for it, that's another thing. Because I can get it, dude. Like, you know, we don't all have unlimited hours to fuck around.
No, I understand that. I understand
like,
that.
let me give you, let me tell you something real quick, dude. So Minecraft, right? I told you we were playing Minecraft with the family, right? So Amanda and I were on our MacBooks. She was on her MacBook Air, and I was on my M1 Max MacBook Pro. 14-inch, and like I had to plug mine in right away, by the way, because it was dying immediately. And then her Air was chugging along because at max TDP it's like fucking fine, you know what I mean, for hours. So, but one thing that we have a problem with Minecraft specifically is it was using Java. The Minecraft's a Java game, at least the version we were playing, and it was running it through Rosetta 2, so you're getting some serious performance degradation. Like her frame rate was like, let me just say it was like 10, you know what I mean? 10 frames a second or something terrible. Maybe it was even less, you know what I mean? It felt like unplayable. And, but there's a hacky way to make it work. Native. So you can make Java work natively, and run Minecraft through native ARM Java. So somebody made like a wrapper, and it's this big convoluted process. Well, anyway, let me just tell you, it took like 2 to 3 hours to get her to be able to play Minecraft native ARM. And like, you know, I don't blame someone like Ben from not wanting to spend 3 hours trying to get his program to work when he could get going in 5 minutes or less on a Windows machine.
Yeah.
So I mean, granted, I get it. But like, dude, you know how well it works though? Minecraft on the Air, it's like nutty because it went from like less than 10 frames a second on Rosetta 2 to being native at like, 60 frames. It was like unreal. It was like, oh my God, like it suddenly works wonderfully. And like, I didn't even notice the Air throttle after like playing for a long time. So yeah, anyway, it ran really well. And guess what? It ran on a battery for like, it could run on battery for hours and not even blink. So, but yeah, man, I don't know. So I really wish that people would give macOS kind of a try. I wish there was like a low effort way to give people like a experience in macOS.
I could tell you right now that kind of on like the same token. I have a friend who was like diehard Android since Android launched. Never had an iPhone, never had anything, right? Just loved Android. And he's someone who's kind of smart with his money. And I say smart with his money because like if he buys a phone, he's going to run it into the ground,
Okay. I mean, that's the smartest thing to do.
Right. I mean, we're not like that because we like technology, but like that's how he is, right? Like,
right.
Like
I respect
he doesn't always need the best computer because his computer still works for what he does,
I love it. I respect people like that. Yeah. But what were you saying about it though?
Right. So anyway, he had a S10 Plus.
Okay.
And it's like a 2-year-old phone now, and it's dead. It was totally dead. So he actually reached out to me and said, And he's like, dude, my phone died. I'm like, dude, just get a fucking iPhone already. Just buy the iPhone, just bite the bullet, just make the switch.
Yeah.
So he did this back in September. He's been on a 13 Pro Max since then. And I literally just sent him a phone. I just said to him, phone check, like 2 or 3 days ago. And he said, absolutely loving it. I can't believe I didn't switch sooner. This is everything I've wanted.
Exactly, dude.
You know, so
I think that once you get in the ecosystem, you're like, dang, dude, this works. It just works, dude. Like, it's just kind of magical in a way, in the way it works. I know that's kind of like the Apple fanboy thing to say.
Yeah.
But like when you, like, I'm an IT person. I do IT for a living, and I hate when things just are a pain in the ass, dude. Like I deal with it at work all the time. And like, it's such a breath of fresh air to have something that just is rock solid. You know what I mean? And like, I felt like with the Mac specifically, and iPhones also, they've just been really good. Like I've had the least issues with these devices than any other. And
same.
I haven't had to reboot it. Like I did have issues where I've had to reboot before, but like that is the most I've ever had to deal with anything. And
I think I was just gonna add, I think for me, like what was my gateway to getting a MacBook was people telling me about the battery life. Right. So like that was my gateway, because I had like powerful Windows laptops before, and like it came down to the point, it's like, why am I buying a laptop that I could use portably for 35 minutes?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know,
or like even 2 hours. Like what the hell? Like that's not portable.
No,
you know what I mean? That's like deploy and redeploy somewhere else.
I know.
You know? That's
how I used to do laptops. Like when I bought, like, this is way back, you know, when I had my what was it, Razer Blade Pro 17, because that was like a desktop replacement.
It was,
and like that thing could last on battery barely any time at all. So I basically like would unplug it, move to my next destination, plug it back in. It was never on battery, dude. Like it could not be on battery for very long. And like even to this day, Windows low, it doesn't even change with 12th gen. Like I'm sure that if you use integrated graphics, I'm sure that you could push these laptops to last longer, especially because now you have e-cores and stuff. So like maybe it's more efficient now, but it's still not going to beat like you know, your Apple equivalent laptops in like just performance per watt. Like it's just not there. And like that's what makes the M1 so magical though, is like go ahead.
I think my meme light is here. It's got a doorbell.
Oh, we'll go grab it, dude.
All right, I'll go grab it real quick.
All right, you're back, dude.
It's here,
the
dude.
Meme
this is nice
light.
Packaging, dude.
Show the camera. Show the camera. Hold on, let me switch to Randy View. Randy View is online. Look at that screen bar plus. Look at that. It was okay back where you were, but yeah, it looks pretty good, man. Let's bust it out, dude. You gonna unbox it on camera? You gonna give me your first impressions of the BenQ screen bar plus? I want to hear it.
Ooh, this is a weighty boy, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's pretty good. Yeah, well,
it's a quality piece of equipment.
It keeps it on your monitor.
So while I unbox this, we can continue the conversation. And then I'll just set it up.
Dude, I don't even remember what we were talking about, dude. 12th gen. I think like I just wanted to summarize by saying like performance is nutty, battery life isn't like nutty. It could be better.
Yeah, battery life is basically what you would expect from your typical Windows laptop.
Yeah, it's no different. Like to me, like the M1 MacBooks are kind of like this magical space. Like even the M1 Pro and Max chips don't really quite tickle that itch with performance per watt, because like my M1 Max laptop, I gotta charge that sucker. But like it's kind of nutty what you can get out of like the M1, just base M1 for like, and it's
nice, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there it is.
Oh, so both cables come out of the controller. That's a nice touch.
It is. It's pretty good.
That's a nice touch. So the USB-A end goes in the monitor, I believe, and the USB-C end goes in the light itself. Yeah. I need a second to adjust it.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, that's really nice. Wow. That's a worthy purchase. That's a worthy purchase.
Yeah, I like it because it doesn't like glare in your eyes or anything. Like
it doesn't.
Some lights will do that, but no, it like perfectly directs it down, so you don't really see the light source like blinding you or anything, and you don't see the reflection of it or anything. So it's like it's just solid, dude.
No, good purchase, dude. Good recommendation.
Good purchase. It's lit.
How do I adjust temperature on this thing?
You have to push the toggle button like on the left or on the right. Sorry, the right button toggles between brightness and temperature.
Oh, look at that. Oh, this thing gets super warm, dude.
It does.
Yeah.
You can get it as warm or as cool as you like.
All right, cool. I'm in. I'm sold.
Yeah, and then the button on the left is like auto brightness.
I don't want that.
Yeah, I find that it gets a little dim, so I like to be manual with it. Positive purchase, dude.
It is, dude.
I thought it was worth it. I'm glad that you think it's worth it, man.
I do. Back to the podcast. Dude.
So let's talk about 12th gen. Do you got any last words on it?
I don't. I think I've pretty much covered, the extent of my knowledge on it currently. So
yeah, I don't know. I'm excited that what's funny is like it took AMD and Apple both like to push Intel to do anything worthwhile, and now like they're coming back swinging. So I'm really excited that we have competition. Competition is good.
Exciting. Real exciting. So I look forward to seeing more from Intel. I'm glad they're doing this stuff. Really, really great. They're going to push the industry to make even bigger and better changes. So I'm really hyped. But I want to move into the next topic, which is the Steam Deck. Steam Deck.
So Steam Decks have been out in the wild. Developers have had their hands on them for some time now, and I've seen lots of little leaks now and then of developers showing off their games running on the Steam Deck. And it seems like the general consensus among the devs is the Steam Deck is kind of awesome. A lot of people are saying it, and I think that's very exciting, especially because today Valve just announced on their Steam website here, and I'll show it to the viewers, Steam Deck launching February 25th. So this is not truly a launch. This is technically when they're going to send out the emails for the reservation holders, right? The first batch is coming out February 25th. If you are a early reservation holder, you will have priority in line. There is a queue, and whoever ordered first is in the front of that queue. So pay attention. If you're a Steam Deck, if you're somebody holding a reservation, you may get an email on the 25th of February. And you'll have 3 days to buy it or to fulfill your actual purchase, or it'll go to the next person in queue. So we'll definitely be talking about that as we approach February 25th. So it's very exciting. And I know I'm super hyped about the Steam Deck, dude. Are you still got that Steam Deck hype?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, the Steam Deck's going to be one of those things I think is going to be super. I think it's going to complement my PC gaming perfectly.
I think so too, dude. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. So
it's going to be cool from two reasons for me. Like, I obviously love playing in my gaming PC, but sometimes you just want to like couch game or like be like downstairs or something, be mobile. And like the Steam Deck's going to let you play your Steam games, like especially the one, and run them natively on the deck, which is awesome. Like obviously I can do Steam Link with a number of devices right now, and I find while that experience is good, it still comes with the compromises of having to rely on really great Wi-Fi or like decent network connectivity. And like it can work, but it does have issues. Like I was downstairs on my laptop with Steam Link, and while I was able to get a good experience, I did have some hiccups. And I have like really good Wi-Fi with the Ubiquiti access points. They're not as good as some of the ones that you talk about, but they're really good. I got Wi-Fi 6 in my house. Like it's really solid. I got 3 access points spread across, so I got really good coverage. And I still can't get like 100% reliable Steam Link. So I still think on-device gaming is superior from streaming.
Sure.
And I think that the Steam Deck is going to be your biggest player there. Like I really hope Monster Hunter Rise, the PC version, runs well on it, because I think with Steam Link, sorry, not Steam Link. Was it Steam Save Sync shit? Steam Cloud Save. I think that with that, like you're going to be able to like take your Steam games on the go and then come and play at the desktop, and like I don't know, man. So I'm really hyped for the deck, man. Like, what do you think?
I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it now that I'm kind of getting back into Steam gaming a little bit. So I'd say that my hype has kind of increased.
Okay.
I do want to point out a few things that concern me a little bit. I've been kind of hearing some mixed things on Proton. I mean, you probably know more about it than I have. So
yeah, sure. So tell me what you've heard, and I'll tell you what I've heard.
I've heard that Proton may not be as good as we're hoping it to be at launch, and some of the compatibility is still a little bit wonky.
Yeah, so let me speak to what I know, And then if it contradicts what you know, let me know. So
we should probably explain what Proton is first, if you can.
Yeah, exactly. So what I have is the protondb.com pulled up. This is the Proton database that will show you like Proton compatibility. And what it is Proton, you can see it tells you what is ProtonDB, what is Proton. And I'll just read it straight from the ProtonDB site. It says Proton is a new tool released by Valve Software and has been integrated with Steam Play to make playing Windows games on Linux as simple as hitting the play button within Steam. So ultimately, it lets you play Steam games, Windows-based Steam games on Linux-based platforms with just the click of a button, right? It makes it so it does all the translation with things like Wine and other technologies to be able to play your Windows-based games on Linux. And as we know, the Steam Deck is going to run Linux, at least by default. Like they say, it's a PC. You can run Windows on it, but it's not going to be optimal for several reasons. Windows is a little bloated, right? So if you want the best battery life you can get out of a mobile device, which I think most people do on a mobile device, you're going to want to try and run through Proton. And the nice thing is it's not like an emulation layer, right? It's like a translation layer. It does like the translation with the different technologies that are proprietary to Windows, and it just translates them to Linux. So it does come to as with an overhead, but very minimal overhead from my experience with this sort of thing. And I think that what you're going to get is you're going to get some games that work really well, some games that don't. So you can see on the ProtonDB website here, when they talk about the top 10 games, they rate their compatibility from anywhere between native, I mean it has a Linux version, all the way from Platinum, Gold Plus, Silver Plus, Bronze Plus, and Borked. So they have a rating scale on how well games work. You can see in the top most popular games, which conveniently, Valve's always going to top the Steam charts, it seems like. But,
right.
And Valve's going to support their, the Steam Deck. They want Proton to succeed, so they're going to push to make sure their games work well on it. So Counter-Strike, Go and Dota 2 are going to be up there. Games that have heavily, they have very heavy, what do you call it? Either DRM or some sort of anti-cheat. Maybe PUBG and Apex Legends, those games are going to be the ones that struggle. And while Valve has worked with many of the major anti-cheat, software engineers or, anti-cheat companies to have Proton and Linux support, it's still a little bit up to the game devs themselves to implement that stuff. So we have games that struggle with it. Grand Theft Auto 5 is, it looks like it's whatever yellow is. What is that, bronze right now? Monster Hunter Rise, if I click on that, it's gold rated. So they're saying Monster Hunter Rise is gold rated. If you read through here, like this is the game I care about right now. I just got done talking about Monster Hunter Rise. A lot of people are saying the game crashes while compiling shaders. And this is just running in Linux, right? Like, you can run Proton today on Linux distros and try it out. And we expect it to, be the same way when we get the Steam Deck. Proton compatibility, I don't really expect it to be any better or worse than it would be on any other Linux distro. So I think if you get quirks today, you're probably going to get quirks when the Steam Deck comes out. I don't anticipate any major changes. But the interesting thing about these reports is they can tell you what Linux distros, what kernel people are running, and their basic hardware stuff on these reports. And some people will tell you, the game crashes while compiling shaders. That's interesting, but most people can get it to work even online. And I think that's pretty. I think that's a good outlook for people like me who can tinker anything to make it work. I just got done saying that I spent like 2 to 3 hours getting Minecraft to work natively on my Mac. You know what I mean? I can make Monster Hunter Rise run well on the Steam Deck confidently, right? Like if this many people can make it work, I can get it to work on the Steam Deck pretty flawlessly. I would argue that I probably could do that. That's my guess. So, what have you heard about Proton, and what gives you sort of like what forms your opinion around it? Because
Sure. So I'm kind of pulling up the article really quick just so I can kind of formulate my thought properly.
Yeah, sure. Because there's no guarantee games will run on it, right? It's one of those things. Here's the thing with the Steam Deck: if you can't get it to run in Proton and you really want to play it, you could put Windows on it. As of right now, like they have said that you could do that. They said you won't want to do it, but you could do it. And I think that that's going to be good enough for most people. I think you're going to have a subset of people that they don't want to deal with Proton and they just want to play their games. So they'll put Windows on it. And, you know, maybe they'll put Windows 11 on it. Who knows? So, and I think that that's fine, but I'm going to try my best not to do that. So I think I'm going to work with the quirks that Proton has until I can't anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't foresee myself finding a game that... I think that in the rare instance where there's a game that won't run through Proton, I'll probably just Steam Link it from my main PC. Stream it. And that's going to be a rare occasion, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I think my biggest concern is newer games not getting Proton support, right? So I don't know how that works, but like I just from reading like the Halo subreddit, right? Like Halo Infinite won't even open, even the Steam version won't even open.
Yeah, so people are saying, this is it's borked right now. So
yeah,
like here, I'll pull up the website for the viewers out there. So Halo Infinite, if I show more here, I'm looking at the most popular games. Halo Infinite's clearly red here. And they just said, game starts in small window for 1 frame, then instantly crashes. So basically, it's not going to work.
Right.
You know, it looks like it's just straight borked right now. And it might be because, do you think it's like a DirectX 12 problem maybe?
I don't know what it is, but it raised some concerns, and there's some other people brought it up as well with people who are using Proton on Linux, that there's really no descript time frame of when like newer, I want to say like AAA games, because like mostly indie games are okay. Shockingly, they get better development. Will not really work maybe a week, a month, 2 months after they launch. So like for me, I was like, oh, this will be great. You know, like I could play games like God of War on my computer, go on my couch, play on my Steam Deck.
Right. So let me find God of War, dude. So right now it's gold rated.
I just use that as an example, you know? So yeah.
No, I think that it's one of those things there. It's not going to be 100% solid. I think that if you want an experience that you can guarantee your games are going to run, you're going to have to install Windows, but hopefully Proton is good enough to where I'm not inclined to do that. And if I do have to install Windows, I wonder how hard it's going to be to set up a Windows partition and dual boot, because I think for most of the time, if I can be in Steam OS, I will, but it might be nice to have a smaller Windows partition for those occasional games that are just borked. And that's why I'm kind of happy to be paying for the largest storage capacity available in the Steam Deck.
Yeah, I mean, I went the same route. I think it was mostly for the screen. Like, isn't the screen different?
Yeah, I think that the screen's slightly different. Like, the actual display is the same, but the like it's either going to be like a Gorilla Glass or like a nano texture glass or something different about it. But yeah, it's supposed to be more premium.
Right.
And so I went for that, but I did want the higher capacity storage, so I decided to fork out the extra cash. And honestly, for the price, I think it was like pretty good.
I think so too.
I wanted the faster storage, not just the bigger storage either. So, and I'm really curious on like, actually I'll have to look at the teardowns again, because I want to know how, because obviously it's upgradable. They say that it's like you can just put M.2s in it, I think. So it's like, can I just slap a like 2 terabyte M.2 in it? Like,
do you know if it's like that newer, smaller form factor size, or if it's the full size?
Hold on, let me do Steam Deck teardown and see if I can find it, because they had the teardown video. Hold on, I'm just gonna show the viewers what I'm looking at. So DuckDuckGo, I'm looking at the images here. I don't see the M.2. Hold on, that's not high enough resolution. They have a video on YouTube with the teardown. If you didn't know. We talked about it on the earlier.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah. I just don't remember, to be totally frank with you.
Okay, so I'm looking at. Hold on, I'm looking at this picture here. I see a battery, weird shaped battery. Okay, this is the cooling. I don't see it. It's probably. I wonder if it's under the battery. Dang, dude. I can't tell in this picture. but it's going to be upgradable. I know that because people have talked about buying the cheapest tier and then just throwing their own drive in it. And if that's the case, that's pretty cool. Okay, this one's a little bit further toward down. That looks like the M.2. So it's tiny though. It's like a little tiny. That might be the Wi-Fi adapter. It's so small.
No, because like that's the kind that's like the newer standard that's in like the Microsoft Xbox Series expansion card.
Okay, this picture's kind of low res, so I can't.
Isn't that in the bottom left there?
Yeah, that square.
Yeah, that's the
that
SSD.
Looks like it because it's got like a.
Yeah, that's it.
It's almost like a heat sink on it. Well, what do they call that?
Heat shield?
Yeah, the heat shield or whatever on top. Because so it's tiny, dude. It's a tiny little M.2.
Yeah, it's the new kind that's in the expansion cards.
Yeah,
for the
and we're gonna have the 512 one, dude. Like that's dense. That's really dense.
Yeah.
Like how much? I wonder what the largest capacity they sell right now is for that, and it's got to be busted price, right?
Well, Microsoft has a 1 terabyte for the Xbox Series X that I have, and they just announced a 2 terabyte one.
Oh, well, that's great. So we're going to, I mean, they're only going to get bigger as time goes on too. So, but like 512 will be good. But like if I start loading up, games are huge, dude. AAA games are huge. How big is God of War?
God of War is kind of small.
Well,
for what it is, right?
It makes sense because it's like, it's, designed for console. So they don't want it to be too big.
Well, I mean,
and they probably have
I mean, Call of Duty is designed for console, right?
Oh my god, yeah, and that thing's do you know how big that is, dude? Games are big.
Games are huge. So it depends on what you install. My God of War install folder is calculating. It's calculating, dude.
Yeah. It's got to be big, right? Like, I'm gonna guess before you even tell me.
Okay.
Oh man. Okay, you said it's small, dude.
70
gigs, dude.
65.
Oh, I was close.
Yeah, you are close.
I was close. Yeah. I had a guess. 65's okay, smaller than I thought, though.
Yeah,
but still pretty chunky, right? Like, how many games are you gonna fit on a Steam Deck? Like 65 gigs. Like, how big is the smallest Steam Deck storage option? That's like. That's like the whole thing. Not even like because I'm pretty sure they don't include like the OS install size. Hold on, I'm pulling up the Steam Deck page, dude. 64 gig eMMC drive is the smallest, but you have a micro SD card, so you could throw that in. People have been putting games on there too, so that you know how
it's slow though.
It is. Right? It's slower, but some games it don't really hurt to have. I think for me, like I would load up an SD card with like emulators, right? Like because I don't really care, like. Because once a game's loaded into memory, it's kind of loaded, right? Like for older retro titles, because they're kind of small. So it's like, for like more intense titles, maybe storage speed comes into account, but like for emulation, typically not.
No, you're right there.
So like that would be where you want to load up like your maybe like games that are just like either too big or like don't matter so much on load times. But yeah, I don't know, man. But anyway, that's really all I had to say about the Steam Deck, dude. It's coming. I'm really excited still. I cannot wait. We're going to have maximum coverage when that starts coming out and hitting our... when that comes out, dude, oh my God. I'm going to cover the shit out of that.
What's the word I'm looking for? I just hope that it's good. And that sounds like a very general statement, right? But like I feel like Valve is one of those companies who basically every hardware attempt they've had,
right?
They kind of, I don't want to say that they've abandoned the index, but like there's still nothing I really want to play on it. And like their Steam controller, it was kind of abandoned, right?
Yeah, it's kind of bad because I think that they were thinking, well, if we build it and it's good, that developers are just going to flock to it and it's going to be this. But it doesn't work like that. Like so many times have we seen good hardware just underutilized. Like ever since like the Sega Saturn for me, like and then the Sega Dreamcast, like it was great hardware, revolutionary for the time, but like nobody built for it. Mm-hmm. And like it kind of died. Like the PlayStation was under like look at the Game Gear versus Game Boy. Like the Game Gear was like superior on a technical level, but it like took like 6 batteries and lasted like less than 4 hours. And then you needed 6 brand new AA's. Like And then the cheaper Game Boy, more accessible Game Boy, like exploded in popularity, and it was like, yeah, it was technically inferior, but it just won. And like, that's what I'm worried about with the Steam Deck, because if like, I'm just gonna I'm on the Steam Deck subreddit for those that are viewers, and I'm looking at the top post this month, and I'm just looking at the Steam Deck compared to the Switch, and I think a lot of people are making this comparison with the Switch because it's a very Switch-like device, and I'm just thinking, is this a Game Boy versus Game Gear scenario? Right here, where you're going to have the Steam Deck like go into obscurity versus things like the easy and accessible Nintendo Switch. And I just don't know. I think that you're going to have a niche market that get the Steam Deck. You have a lot of people excited, but I don't know if it's going to meet that mass market appeal that's really going to bring it into like permanent product territory. You know what I mean? I think because like there's other people. Like, did you see that Linus covered recently? It was like what the heck was that thing? It was like another portable thing like the Steam Deck. Did you see that? It's kind of cool.
I did see it. It's more expensive and it looks objectively worse.
It is. It's. I think the screen might be better. I think it's like a 1080p or something.
No, it's 720p.
Oh well, then it's just objectively worse then. But like, and they're expensive. Like what was it, $1,200 or something? Hold on, I'm pulling it up. To see if I could just, oh God, I'm pulling it up. What's this thing called?
I forget. It's a weird name.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what the heck it's called. It's it's like, couldn't you just tell me what it is in the title, dude? Yeah, I don't know. But it's like another one of those pocket handhelds. Here, I'll just kind of show it off since I'm talking about Linus Tech Tips here. Look, it looks like a Steam Deck, but it's kind of a little different, right? Mm-hmm. These devices aren't new. Like we've seen a lot of devices like this come out. I think what's new is they're actually kind of good enough to talk about now. And they have enough performance and stuff and battery life. Like they're kind of making an actual like workable product now. I think that's what we're seeing, because we've seen portable Windows stuff for a long time.
We have,
but they've sucked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they've sucked.
They've been like interesting, but then nothing I would spend money on.
No.
You know? So like the Steam Deck seems like the first thing that I'm putting down money for, you know?
Yeah. Like the GPD Win and stuff. Like what is it? The GPD products. Like I think that was like the first set of portable like little products that piqued my interest, but it was always very expensive, and it was always very much like not very like good enough to where I'd buy it.
Right.
Like look at the gpd.hk website. They got like all kinds of different little portable devices.
Oh wow, look at these boys.
Do you see, have you been on here? Have you looked at this stuff? They got like they do this portable stuff like pretty well, but like very expensive, like for a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And
very expensive.
Very expensive.
Wow.
Like over $1,000 for a lot of it. The cheapest kind of like value thing you could get. I'm trying to think of which one it was. I don't even see it on here anymore. But it was like I think it was Android based. Shoot, I don't even see it on here anymore. GPD Win 3 maybe?
I don't.
And that's like,
I'm on Pocket 3, I think, what I'm looking at.
I'm looking at the Win 3, and if I buy it, oh my God. Well, that's like a Windows based one. It's like over $1,000. It's like $1,136 on AliExpress, right? And this thing looks like nothing. Like the Steam Deck is way better value than this. Like I think it's game breaking how good the Steam Deck is value wise. Because if you go to the Steam Deck, you know, if you go on the Steam Deck website, you can have it for as little as $400, and the best one $649. That's like half the price from anything else on the market. That's busted, right? So it's like, can you really even compete against the Steam Deck? Not really. So I think the Steam Deck, that's what makes it so exciting, is it's the first device in its category to be just like kind of game breaking in the performance and also in price. So I think it's actually at that entry point where it could be successful. But I recommend, if anyone's interested in the Steam Deck, check out the Steam Deck web subreddit and check it out.
It's filled with a lot of information.
There's a lot of good stuff. Yeah. Devs have been leaking stuff. This person connected 6 Bluetooth controllers.
I just saw that.
Like at once. Like How cool is that, dude? Like one guy was like, dude, imagine being able to like invite your buddies over. Everyone brings like a different wireless controller over and you like play like the sick 4-player couch co-op PC games there are out there.
It'd be
like
great.
Plug it into your TV with USB-C, like HDMI dongle, dude, like blam. Everyone's hooked up. That's going to be sick. I can't wait to have that. Like I'm going to invite buddies over and we're just going to like plug in. We're going to have everybody bring controllers over. They like PS4 controllers, so be it. Xbox, whatever. And we'll just fucking game, dude. Like it's gonna be.
It seems like a really good situation.
Yeah, I can't wait to use it on my TV. So I hopefully they build a dock for this thing or something. Like I think it'd be cool. I don't think did they have a dock in their. They had it hooked up to monitors, but I didn't know if it was a dock.
It wasn't a dock, wasn't it?
I don't know. I think
Steam
it was
Deck dock, dude.
Is that what it, deck dock?
Yeah, dude. The Steam Deck will not boost performance when dock. It does have a dock.
Oh, okay. Hardware.
It does have a dock. Yeah.
Hold on. I'm trying to see if that has a dock in the.
The official dock will be sold separately and at a later date.
Okay, yeah. So what I'm seeing here for the viewers out there, you can see it here. It's basically, guys, you don't need a dock with this thing. It looks pretty, but you don't really need one because like it just has the USB-C on top. You see how it's kind of jank? I don't know if you can see that. I'm on the Steam Deck hardware website webpage, and they just have like a picture of it docked as a PC. And yeah, it's just a USB-C cable, guys. Like any USB-C dongle you got is gonna work with it. Like I think Linus plugged in a random one. I don't remember. But like I got a ton of these because I have a Mac and I'm living that dongle life, dude. Like these are gonna work great for the deck. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be awesome. But let's move on, dude. To our last topic. I don't really have much to say about it, man. Galaxy Unpacked coming next month, February.
I think the only thing that I'm really excited to see, because like if I get a phone that's not an iPhone, it would be a foldable, and there probably won't be any foldables at this event.
No. So what are they gonna have, dude? What are they announcing?
I want to see if the S22 Ultra has an S Pen in it. That's kind of the only thing I really care about.
Well, they killed the Note, right? Mm-hmm. So, and did the previous S22, or sorry, the S21 and the S21 Ultra, did they have S Pens?
No, they didn't. Only the Note line did.
So this will be a change then. So we'll see if they add it. I bet you they will, dude. What do you think?
I think so. Yeah. I think the S22 Ultra will have an S Pen in it.
Yeah, which I think is the right play. But it's weird that they would kill the Note brand for it. I think they just had too much overlap between their different phones. Yeah, too many phones. Like how many? Samsung have a ton of phones. You know, you got the like what is it? The FE. They got like a bunch of shit.
They have the whole like A series budget line.
Right. Which makes sense for people that are looking for that budget phone, but like they had too many flagships. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I was just kind of like, do they need that? And I think even Samsung was like, nah, we don't need it. So I don't know, man. Like I'm not really excited about whatever Samsung put out, dude. I think it's just gonna be another phone.
I think so too. I was just curious to see if it would have an S Pen or not.
Yeah, I mean,
that's kind of where I'm at.
We'll see, dude. Like I think Samsung are still killing it in some aspects. Like they still think they have a great folding phone. Although there's been some other foldables that have been getting talked about by YouTubers and the like. And
yeah, I think Google is filing a patent for one now too. So
patents, dude. Fuck patents.
Yeah.
Fuck patents, dude. We don't need any more slowing down innovation with patents. But whatever. I don't know. Folding phones are kind of good. I still love mine. You sold your phone. I still love mine, dude. I don't think I could give it up.
I don't blame you. Like there are days now that I miss it, but then I also think, but I'm just in that nice ecosystem.
Let me tell you what I'm gonna do, dude. There's no way I'm getting rid of this fold, but I'm definitely getting an iPhone. I'm gonna be a 2-phone person.
2-phone boy, dude.
Because like to me, like I won't YouTube on an iOS device because I can't get ad block. I can't get sponsor block. I tried to switch to Safari, but I can't even do that because there's no sponsor block on Safari.
Right.
And like I can't, like once you have it, you don't want to give it up. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like I really want to go to Safari, but if I can't Reddit because they don't have Reddit enhancement suite, and I can't YouTube because I don't have sponsor block, it's kind of like that's what I do on the web, dude. Like
I get it.
I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. So that's my opinion on that. But yeah, I don't know, man. Foldables are kind of busted. What do you think, dude? Like, I think out of Samsung, I just want to see the next foldable from them because, like, I hope that they can innovate, push foldables beyond what we have in the Fold 3 in some way. I think the Fold 3 is kind of perfect, but like, I think that with what other people are doing, like, they could do even better. So I don't know. I'm really excited to see the next evolution. Maybe maybe. I think so too. I think if anything, you could make it thinner, which would be kind of scary. I think we need
some Western competition. You know what I mean? So
where are we getting that? Not
maybe
from
Google.
Maybe Google, because not from Microsoft, dude. Their phone flapped.
Yeah, dude.
They're foldable. Because I wanted to
fold, dude. There was two screens. It was a hinge.
It was a hinge. It wasn't a fold. Microsoft made good hinges, but we don't want that in our phones.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro. But yeah, I don't know, man. Not much to say about it. What about tablets, dude? You think we'll get those, or is this just like a pure phone thing?
We may get a tablet. I mean, it's a possibility. I did see some links about the new tablet coming out.
Yeah,
but it's kind of like we talked about like maybe 10 podcasts ago, right? Like the iPad is just so refined that it's very hard to.
I think that,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but like I think about it, and like Android tablets, you know, what makes Samsung specifically cool is DeX, because you can like go into DeX mode, and that's kind of cool. I like DeX mode a lot. Like, I wish Samsung DeX was more refined, because like I think like there's kind of this future where the only device you use is like your phone, and then you dock it, and then like now you have a desktop class experience, then you undock it, and now you're in the phone class experience. And like being able to lump all those things into one device, that's kind of busted. But like DeX isn't quite good enough to be perfect. But like you see people online like do like the DeX like only setups. Mm-hmm. And like it's kind of neat, you know.
I think so too. I think it's really neat. Yeah.
But like I would still have like the iPad only setup though. I think that works better.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
I just think that iOS apps are more refined.
Yeah. I know. I think I just have like this hope that we'll get some competition, like with in the tablet space, like serious competition, because Apple's just killing it. I think part of it's Google's fault though. You know what I mean? Like Apple made clear division between phone and tablet apps, right?
Sure.
Like, and I think that was important because Android doesn't really do that. Mm-hmm. So like they kind of just the way that the apps kind of translate between phone and tablet mode isn't always like as elegant as it probably could be. So part of it's really Google, probably, but I don't know. But yeah, man, Galaxy Unpacked. That's really what I want to talk about, man. You want to wrap it?
I think so, dude.
Let's wrap it up.
I think that was a good cast, dude. We got a lot of info out there.
A lot of info.
Well, a lot of conversation.
Yeah, a lot of conversation, man. I don't know. We'll talk about more stuff next week, I'm sure, but it's been kind of slow this week. Alder Lake was like the coolest thing, you know? Really excited to see where laptops go with Intel and stuff. And
yeah, it's exciting landscape for sure.
It is.
It's gonna really make that M2 launch a little bit more interesting, I think.
Dude, that's coming too. When's that coming? Shit.
Q2?
Q2, man.
Q3?
Dude, this year's gonna be exciting, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's been the Technosthetic Podcast. Check them out. Check us out on YouTube, everywhere else, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Later.